Good morning, everyone. So, beautiful day for a flight, but the last couple times I've come out to Mike Victor Uniform, I've noticed a drip of oil on the front tire after it's been parked for 24, 48 hours, something like that. Minor drip, but I've also started to see a little bit of oil spray along the belly as well. So, today we're going to head up to Chris's. We're going to do an oil change, and we're going to see if we can track down where that oil drip is before it becomes an oil leak. And I know, I've heard the jokes. If there isn't oil under your Continental engine, then there's no oil in it. But I really don't like the drip.
Oshawa Tower, Foxtrot Mike Victor Uniform holding short 30 on Bravo for departure.
Mike Victor Uniform, turn on course, park clear in the zone, clear takeoff 30.
Clear takeoff 30, Mike Victor Uniform.
Airspeed's alive, everything's in the green. Bit more of a crosswind there on takeoff than I think Tower expects.
Oshawa Tower, Mike Victor Uniform clearing the zone to the northwest, 3,000 climbing 4,500.
Mike Victor Uniform, thanks, change on route frequency.
On route frequency, Mike Victor Uniform, thank you.
Edenvale traffic, Cessna 172, Foxtrot Mike Victor Uniform intends to join the left downwind runway 13, full stop, Edenvale. Edenvale traffic, Mike Victor Uniform turning face to final, runway 13, Edenvale.
We are?
So people have asked about the take on my Cowl, and I've never addressed it. we've fixed it a couple of times, and it's a compound curve. The aluminum is 65 years old. I've gone through a few of them at this point. This is the third one. They all crack in the same place. So later this summer, I'm gonna team up with a guy here on the field that Chris put me in touch with, and we are going to build one out of carbon fiber and then see if we can go through the process of getting Transport Canada to approve it to be put on this aircraft, because there are no new parts, and I've run out of options of finding used ones, and since they all crack in the same place, it's useless to get a used one.
It's on the, so if you look at the cowl, it looks like the front right, see there?
Yeah.
That's where it's starting. And so that's consistent with this here, with that.
Okay.
Yeah,
So it's one of those tubes.
one of those tubes, and we'll just like wiggle around a little bit, see if we can reset that little rubber piece. See if we can stop it. Like the valve covers look good. Everything else looks good.
Yeah.
Okay, see it running right from there, right now, on there, onto the carburetor, down to there, into the bowl, onto the bottom. Yeah, so we're good. I think that's all. And this, like, see here, it is venting more than, like, see, it's there. So what we're concerned about is this white powder running down the side of the lane here. That's why he's asking about how you're mixing it.
I think I had been mixing, I think, a little too lean. So you're checking the compression again, Jess. What's your worry?
There's the yellow streak down the side of the plane. So we're just having a little check here to make sure everything's working okay. The plugs look like they've been running really lean.
Yeah.
And so you might have been pulling on old red a little hard there. So we'll see. See this spark plug? See how yellow it is? Right, it's kind of on the, like, it's not bad. Like, it looks reasonable, but usually they're darker than that. Especially after you just taxied in.
That was Chris's very polite way of saying pilot error in operating the aircraft.
Well, it's a bit, like, it's the vent, see what looks wet here? Really wet there.
Yep.
Right, and you're trailing out that vent on the bottom. Like oil's getting by somehow. So we'll see. It might just be the cylinder. When did we put the cylinder on? It wasn't at the annual, was it?
Yes.
It was?
Yep.
Yeah, so maybe it's still breaking in. Like it's 76, it's getting there. No problem.
So, two of the cylinders have air leaking out through the exhaust valve.
Yes. And rather do you want me to put it back on? So
Yeah.
Okay.
Chris says it's rather rapid.
Okay, so here we go. You can actually hear it. So the tester is going to go to 80. Excuse me. We're getting about 30 out of it, and you can hear it howling. Maybe it's even. Okay, watch. Just props live. Yeah, you can hear it in the valve.
Yeah.
It's actually the intake valve.
Yeah, is it coming out the exhaust?
Yeah, it's coming in here.
Oh, it's the intake.
It's the intake valve. It doesn't make a difference here.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I've had a way to cover that, it'd make a difference. So, but why? Usually the intake's not the bad one. Usually the exhaust.
So that first cylinder that we changed, though, it was the intake valve.
What was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so intake valves are a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Edenville traffic, Mike Victor Uniform rolling on runway 31, Edenville. Barrie area traffic, this is Foxtrot Mike Victor Uniform, Cessna 172, currently at 3,500 feet just west of Barrie, traveling southeast towards Oshawa. Barrie area traffic.
Good morning, Glen. One of your trillium buddies.
Good morning. Great day for flying.
Absolutely.
So what just happened at Chris's was not unexpected. If you don't know the whole history of this aircraft, I bought it. It had been dormant for a number of years, sitting unused. The engine had a complete overhaul in the 1980s, and when I bought it, it had like 300 hours on it. And so it sat for years without being used, which is not good for an aircraft engine. And so, you know, we gave the engine a lot of attention early on. You know, Chris was a little worried because it had sat, but the cylinders were chromed, so there wasn't any rust. We really looked at all of the internals, got in there with a Boroscope, and at every annual, Chris, you know, looks at it really closely. And so at the last annual, 30 hours ago, do the differential pressure check and Boroscope and look at everything. And there were a couple of cylinders that, you know, Chris said we've got to keep an eye on them. Next oil change, let's Boroscope them again and you know, do the differential pressure test. So we did. Pretty pumpy today. Anyway, so we did, and you know, before Chris could even say anything to me, I heard the noise. I heard the hissing. I knew what was happening, and so we've got an intake valve sticking, and the differential pressure test showed that quite clearly. So we did a run up, and then did another pressure test. Boroscoped it again, looked at it again, and the valve had closed at that point. And so sometimes, you know, I'm not an expert, but you know, a lot of what I've read is that you can get a bad differential pressure test and the cylinder's still good. Just exercise it a little bit and you'll be fine, and it'll come back. And that's what happened in this case. But Chris and I both sort of stood there and said, because I'm going on a long trip with Give Hope Wings, and then I'm staying out in Winnipeg for a few weeks to finish my IFR training, it'd be better to, you know, get ahead of it and let's swap out those two cylinders. So we've ordered the cylinders, and I'm going back to Chris's in a couple of days, and we'll put them on. I'm not worried about flying the plane right now. We're fine. I'm not worried about it. But it is something that, you know, get ahead of. I've spoken to a couple of guys. One has superior knowledge about Continental engines, and the other guy's pretty savvy about these engines. And they've both told me the same thing, that, you know, the differential pressure test isn't the be-all and end-all. It really comes down to boroscoping. And, you know, the intake valve on both of those cylinders looked like it really did need a little bit of cleaning up. And so it's best just to start over. So that's what we're going to do. Oshawa Tower, this is Foxtrot Mike Victor Uniform.
Foxtrot Mike Victor Uniform, Oshawa Tower.
Oshawa Tower, Foxtrot Mike Victor Uniform, Cessna 172 with information India, currently abeam the town of Uxbridge at 3,500 feet, inbound for landing, last departed Edenville.
Mike Victor Uniform, runway 05, winds calm, altimeter 3010, cleared left base, squawk 0056.
0056, cleared left base for runway 05, Mike Victor Uniform.
Oshawa Tower, Golf Oscar, and holding towards 05, ready for departure. Oscar Yankee Juliet, right turn and clear for takeoff, runway 05.
Clear for takeoff, Golf Oscar.
Foxtrot, Quebec Tower.
Go ahead.
Foxtrot, Quebec, the winds are calm, so I want to switch to runway 30 now. Turn left, re-cleared to the left downwind, runway 30.
Turning left to join the left downwind for 30, Foxtrot, Quebec.
Kilo runway Foxtrot, same for you. Follow the Cessna head into the left downwind for runway 30.
Follow the traffic ahead for left downwind 30 to the runway Foxtrot.
Mike Victor Uniform, re-cleared right downwind, runway 30.
Right downwind 30, Mike Victor Uniform. Mike Victor Uniform entering the zone, 2000.
Roger. Mike Victor Uniform, clear to land, runway 30.
Clear 30, Mike Victor Uniform.
Oshawa Tower, Foxtrot Golf Alpha Romeo with Juliet.
Foxtrot, Quebec, line up runway 30.
Foxtrot, Quebec. Line up and wait.
Mike Victor Uniform, exit right on runway 05, contact ground, 1184, off. Good day.
Right on 05, contact ground 1 off. Mike Victor Uniform, thank you.
So there we go, Mike Victor Uniform back in the hangar. Another eventful day. We solved the oil drip, but found something else, which, as I said earlier, not really a surprise. So come on back for the next one, where we're going to go back up to Chris's and we'll do a little bit of day surgery, and we'll swap out that cylinder. Thanks for stopping by. See you again soon.